celebrated and reminisced dating over 28 years ago. We just celebrated the day we went on our first date. It was August the 21st, 1992. It was such a special day for us in our life because I feel like that's really where God began our journey together. And then we were married a short 4.5 years later. So we've been married for 23 years now. And somewhere in between that first date and the day that we were married, God called us into full-time ministry. And He did that for us both on the very same day. And we've never looked back. And it has been an incredible journey through the ups and the downs. It has been amazing to be able to be guided by our Lord and our Savior, Jesus Christ. And it's amazing to be at Southside Church now. We've been at Southside for almost 15 years now, and it has been great. And Jeff and I lead together at Southside, and we lead our church home much like we lead our home for our family. Jeff is the head of our home, and I, as the wife and the mom, feel called to be the heart of the home. And that's the way we want to lead Southside together. And this past season of going through COVID, I don't know that ministry has ever been more difficult. And our staff has stood firm. They have stood by our side, and we have worked diligently through all of the strain, stress, and difficulty. And some of our staff has taken different roles on, and it's been very exciting to see God place people in different places that He has for us. And I believe that He's called and purposed us all for this time. And I'm very excited to have Brittany Peevy with me here today because it has been a change for her recently as well, for her role and her responsibilities at Southside. And I could not be more excited about what Brittany is going to be bringing to the table and in ministry at Southside. She is going to be our new family ministry director. And Brittany, would you tell us more about what that ministry is going to hold for you?
Absolutely. I'm so excited. As Candy mentioned, it's a shift for me. For those of you that know about what I've been doing at Southside, I've had the amazing opportunity for the past year, a little over a year, just to be a part of our connections team. So I've been able to work with small groups and all of our guest services, and just get to know our church and help people feel connected and feel at home, which has been a tremendous privilege. But prior to coming to Southside, I have been in education. So I was working with our youngest little people as a teacher, as an elementary school teacher for 13 years. So I'm really excited that my two, I guess the things that mean the most to me have now collided. And God is just so faithful. And He's worked it out where I'm going to be able to be in ministry full time, but I'm going to get to be able to work with our families and work with our children and work with our teenagers. And I just can't begin to describe how excited I am about that. A little overwhelmed, but in a good way. So I covet your prayers and ask for those as I make this transition. But, I do think that that the Lord has purposed every moment, and He's done it for this time. And I do believe that that God has, I would never doubt the way that the Lord has been working in my spirit during this time. And just things have just been confirmed, and it is just going to be a really, really neat opportunity for, I know my family, I'm a mom of 3 boys, so I'm excited that I'll get to be able to participate in ministry where they're at too. And so we're just excited here at the Peevy House.
It's exciting. It's exciting to see how God puts passions in our hearts throughout the different seasons of our life. And then He sets us up to be able to live through His purpose out. And He's fueling those passions, and we're being able to fulfill His purpose for our life and His ministry and for His kingdom work. So tell us a little bit about some of your future, well, really even your short-term goals for our kids and our students, and what ministry is going to look like for them and for our families as we are coming back from COVID.
And we've learned a lot as a church during this time. We really have. We have learned that, I know one thing that Pastor Jeff has been talking a lot about and breaking down for us during family worship is just the opportunity that we have to meet families where they are, to minister to your entire family unit, mom, dad, children. And so I get to be a part of that. And that's really the vision that I think that the Lord has put in my spirit and in my heart for this ministry right now. We're rethinking everything. I met with some of our team leaders like Amy McClure and some of our student leadership team recently this week. And we talked about, hey, nothing's not on the table, and there's nothing that we're not willing to go, you know what, that might not work anymore. So that's okay. And we want you to be prepared for that and know that that we're making plans and we're dreaming, but we're doing none of that without asking and seeking the Lord first. And we're believing that He is directing our steps in that. But some of the things specifically that you're going to see that are different really are all tied to one, I guess it's a theme, it's a big idea, it's a concept, and it's something that's not new to Southside, but I feel like the Lord has just refocused my spirit on, and that's relationships. Our mission here at Southside is to build real followers of Jesus, but our real, that first letter R stands for relationships that encourage action that lead to life change. And I was telling Candy just this week about how I believe that why would we do anything different for our children, for our family ministry? We want to focus our family ministry around relationships. And so you're going to see some intentional shifts in the way we do ministry down our kids' hall, through our student leadership team with our middle and high school students, and even our little bitties, our 0, 1s, and 2s. You're going to see some differences in the way we do that ministry that are hopefully going to give opportunities for your children and your family to form a relationship, first with Jesus and our Heavenly Father, and then with your church, with other people. So we're excited about that. We're going to have some shifts where we're going to have a new focus on small groups across the kids' hall and across our middle and high school, where your family, even your youngest and your oldest students, are going to have an opportunity to form some really sticky relationships with key adults and leaders in their life that are going to be able to pour into them and hopefully spur them on. And I know I've got some sweet memories of that time in my life as a child. So I guess that's kind of where we're living at right now.
I'm so excited. I'm so excited that Brittany's taking on this role. She and Chris have been a part of our church home at Southside for many years, probably over 13 years now. And I've seen them grow their family. They've had babies while they've been with us here at Southside Church. And Brittany's been in education for a number of years in the public school arena, has a background in that with her education. And being able to pull all of those things together and have such a love for people, for families, and to have a priority on building relationships in our church. Brittany knows the value in that, and I'm so excited that she's coming to the table to not only serve our kids and our students for Sunday mornings, Wednesday nights, whenever it be that they are going to get together and do church together, but Brittany's going to be there for the entire family unit. And for you, mom and mom and dad, and for your kids, if you need someone, she is going to be there for the entire family unit. And then I also think about our volunteers, and what a great encourager you're going to have and cheerleader and Brittany Peevy to give you what you need to set you up for success and empower you when you serve these kids and students. It's going to be incredible. And from my heart, I want all of our families to win at home. For me, I want to win with my husband. I want to win with my kids. I want to win in those relationships that we have at church. They're so vital. They're so important, and they're so influential. Even the kid, even the child, the 5-year-old is influential in bringing mom and dad to church. Right. The teenager is vital and influential in bringing mom and dad to church. And mom and dad, you're influential in bringing your family to church. And so whatever it is that we can do for you to empower you to win at home, that is what we want to do. And so for Jeff and I, when Brittany said yes to this position as our family ministry director at Southside Church, it was a win. And so we're very excited about where Brittany is going to take our family ministry, our babies, through high schoolers in our church at Southside. So Brittany, tell me about just growing up and how the church had an influence and how important church was to you as a child and a teenager?
I grew up in church. I was blessed to be able to be a part of a sweet little Baptist church called Ivy Creek Baptist down in Beaufort, Georgia, and it was about 1.5 miles from my house. So I still get to. My parents still live in the same house, so I still get to go down there, and I've visited a few times over the past years, and it's just such a sweet place to call home. But I'm grateful that I had parents. Like Candy said, you are key and instrumental in getting your family to church, and I'm grateful that I had parents who made sure that I sat in those hard pews at Ivy Creek Baptist. It was a lot different back then. You didn't necessarily have a kids ministry area. You had to sit and listen to the preacher. And I had a wonderful pastor named Bobby Brown, who I remember when he baptized me. And but I was I think the key for me was I said yes to Jesus at an early age because I never remember a day not knowing who he was. I never remember a day not knowing that my parents read their Bible, not knowing that there was something bigger than this place, this world that we have. And so I'm grateful for that. And because of that, it spurs in me a passion and an urgency to make sure that as many children as we possibly can, make sure that they hear that message. That we're armed to do that. That's the kingdom work that lies before us, that God invites us to be a part of. And that's a big burden. And, now more than ever, there's so many distractions and reasons why children maybe aren't hearing that message. But I think that brings me home to that place. And I was sharing this story with Candy this week. This kind of goes back to why I believe those relationships are so important. Growing up at Ivy Creek, I remember my youth pastor. I remember my pastor, Bobby Brown. I remember those key men that were shepherding us there. But the lady I remember the most was a sweet, sweet lady by the name of Miss Jan. And she was my Sunday school teacher. And, we met in the basement of the church, and it was very old school. But, I learned about Jesus in that basement. And what I learned more was that Miss Jan loved me. And she cared for me, and I get kind of emotional talking about her. She might even be watching. I don't know. I need to invite her. But we're still friends on Facebook, and we talk some. But I have a Bible that Miss Jan gave me, and she gave it to me because she challenged my little Sunday school class to learn the books of the Bible. She wanted us to memorize them in order. And I'll never forget, we did the New Testament first because she said it was easier, and then we moved to the Old Testament. But I remember I was able to memorize them, and at the end of memorizing the books of the New Testament, she gave me a Bible, and she had my name put on it, and she wrote me a note in it, and I still have that Bible. And to this day, when I'm looking up a book of the Bible and I'm saying my little song that she taught me in my head, I think of Miss Jan and the relationship that she built with me. And, it wasn't hard stuff. You know what Miss Jan did? She said yes, and she showed up every week, and she loved us, and she opened her Bible, and she said, here's what I know. Learn with me, and Candy mentioned our volunteers. We have the best volunteers at Southside, and I cannot wait to get to be a part and lead alongside you. I know what a difference you've made in the Peevy boys, and I could name some of you by name who just have made a kingdom difference in their life, and just by showing up and saying yes to be there for them.
I think one of my love language is time. I spell love Time. And Jeff Williams knows that. My kids know that. And I think about our volunteers. I think about those people like you named Miss Jan. I have a Miss Gordon that was in my life, a Mr. Ledford. I have a Miss Yancey that actually led me to the Lord. Those people, they are stars in our life. And they are stars in our lives because they were faithful. And they gave their most precious commodity to us as children growing up, as teenagers, as young mommies, and that was their time. And we don't take your time for granted for even being with us today, but for the time that you give at church week after week and that faithfulness, but the difference that it makes in the life of a child, in the life of a teenager, in the life of a young mom or a young married couple. Your time is invaluable, and we're grateful for that. And I'm grateful for Chris and for Brittany. And share with us, Brittany, about getting to Southside. How did you and Mr. Chris Peevy make it to Southside Church?
We were invited. We were invited by the pastor and his wife. I remember our invitation, but I do remember, I still think about that. Most people come to our church through an invitation. Yeah. That the power of a shoulder tap, hey, come to church with me, is still probably the number one way that people, I think, come to our church. Of course, there's other ways, but we were invited, and I remember our first Sunday at Southside. It was funny. We had moved to Jefferson, and we're native Gwinnetians. That's a word. We're from Gwinnett County,
like
Chris and I, but we've been here, we got here as fast as we could. My mom jokes about that. She's from up north, but she says, I got to the South as quick as I could. We love our we consider this home now, but we grew up in Gwinnett County, and I remember when we moved here, we didn't know anybody. We had no relationships here, and it's not far from where we grew up, but it's far enough, and this was a small town, even smaller than it is now, and it was, it's kind of intimidating. I was like, we grew up in a small town where everybody knew us, so it was new for us, so, coming to Southside really was about us looking for relationships, and I'm grateful that we were able to find it there. But I remember our first Sunday, when Jeff had talked to Chris and said, hey, I planted a church in your backyard, dude. Because we're so geographically challenged. We didn't even realize how close Southside was because it had the Athens address. We were like, yeah, but we're in Jefferson. And anyway, we ended up showing up that Sunday, and we were meeting in the little tractor building. I remember there was probably 55, 60 people there, and Candy singing, because that Sunday, the worship was led by Candy and Jeff, and I think
called Sheer Desperation.
I think Miss Teresa Kiesler was on stage. I could be wrong.
Maybe.
But Teresa have to correct me if I'm wrong. But anyway, it was worship was not really, we didn't have a worship leader at the time.
We were desperate. Yes.
But I remember walking in, and I literally can still remember the way I felt. I remember where the little welcome desk was. I remember I remember these people by name who were standing there and welcoming and greeting us. I remember meeting Miss Sherry Gibson, who's still in my small group to this day. But, I remember the people, and I remember how I felt. I don't necessarily remember what Pastor Jeff preached on that Sunday. I don't remember all the songs they sang, but I remember the way I felt. Yes. And I remember that I looked at her, because I'll be honest with y'all, the Peevies were about ready to pack it up and go back to Gwinnett. I was not really big up here. We didn't even have a Kroger at that time, so I was kind of like, look, I don't like shopping at the Food Lion. I'm ready to go back to Gwinnett County where they have stuff, and my family and my people are. And Southside gave us roots here in this community, and we never looked back. We said yes that day. Chris felt sorry for them leading worship for themselves. I nudged him. I said, oh, babe, they need you. You need to say yes. We were coming out of a season of life where we really weren't looking for that, but the Lord had other plans. So I think Chris started leading worship the next Sunday, and I think I started serving in the kids pretty close to that. Maybe a couple weeks after that, I said yes and started serving with the children's ministry, and we never looked back.
That's awesome. Well, and I know shortly after that, we were able to, and Brittany did. She jumped right in our kids' ministry then, and we started an Awana program, which was amazing for our church, for Southside, because it gave us a name that people respected, and people knew they could bring their kids there, and they would be safe. Mm-hmm. And so we were able to gain a lot of new families during that time. Southside started growing and gaining some traction. And then we moved to our first permanent spot across the railroad track off of Crooked Creek Road. And I remember that was a very trying time for you, Brittany. And y'all had been married for a couple of years then. Mm-hmm. And we're looking at having some fruit in your very own home. And I know that wasn't easy for you, but I think that for the moms listening out there that are going to have kids and students in your ministry, your story and your passion to be a mommy means a lot. And would you just share with us that part of your story?
Yeah, I would. And some of you know this part of our story, and I guess many of you don't. You may look at us and say, oh, they've got 3, boys and big happy family, but it certainly wasn't always that way. I'm telling you, the prayer warriors at Southside, I could name them by name as well, prayed our children into this world. But during that time, it was a very difficult time for me, both of us together, but probably, and Chris would agree with this, I carried a lot of it alone. We began a battle with infertility that we did not see coming. And it was a 3-year battle. It was a long 3 years that we waited and prayed for the Lord to say yes for us to start our own family. And We unfortunately had to endure some miscarriages during that time and lots of emotional ups and downs, and just a really, really hard season for us. And I tell you, I believe the Lord, He went before us and planted us at Southside prior to us going through that, so that we would have those relationships and that church family. I can remember during that season, ladies from Southside coming to my house and crying with me and praying with me and pleading with the Lord to intervene on our behalf and give us the child that we so desired. I can remember being at the altar every Sunday. Pastor Jeff probably got tired of seeing me at the altar every Sunday, just begging with the Lord to please, give us a baby. And when He answered that prayer, I think our Abe, our firstborn, was like we had a party at Southside when we were ready to announce that, and it was so sweet to be able to have people celebrate that with us. But and then we joke that the Lord got really tired of hearing Southside people pray for us, so He gave us 2 babies in 2 years. For those of you that don't know, Eli came just 4 months after Abe was born. We found out we were pregnant with Eli, so surprise. But I go back to that moment and I think about, I'm always reminded when the Lord entrusts me with children. When I was teaching every year, I would get a new group of 25 to 30 students that the Lord was entrusting me with. And now in this ministry, the Lord I don't take that lightly. I want you to know that as a mom and as a dad and as a parent, that we at Southside do not take lightly that your children have been entrusted to us. And it's not just for that hour that we see them on Sunday or that hour on Wednesday night or whenever it is. We pray for them. We pray for you because I know firsthand what a gift these children are. The Lord tells us in His Word that they are a blessing from Him and a gift. And I think going through that time taught me how quickly they grow up and how important it is to treasure that time and to ultimately entrust them back to the Lord by training them up in the way that they should go under His teaching. So that part of my story does very much drive my passion to want to make a kingdom difference in the lives of families with their children and with their mommies.
I'm just so excited about Brittany coming and having that passion so deep down inside of her that's fueling her every day to make a difference for the kingdom and at Southside, because I believe that, just like Brittany said, children are a heritage from the Lord. And our marriages, strong marriages, leave a legacy, but so do our children. And we are instilling that legacy in them now to have a desire to live out. And I just believe it is the Christians, it is the believers of today that are raising young believers. And it will be our passion that is instilled in them. They will see the passion from us, from mom and dad, from moms, from ladies, from young people that are living their life out loud for Jesus, that are going to be able to make a difference in the world. The noise of the world around us today is so loud, and it gets even louder as the day passes on. And so I'm so grateful for this lady who leads with such passion and enthusiasm to be sitting in this seat of the family ministry director at Southside. And so, Brittany, just before we end today, I know that there are ladies listening on our well chat today that do come to Southside. There may be some of you out there who listen from a distance, and we're able to minister to you just online. But share with us the plan for our comeback with our kids and our students at Southside in the near future. What is that going to look like for us?
So, you can expect, we've already begun to reopen our youngest areas. So our nursery for our 0 to 3 years old and the toddlers, we've begun to reopen those. We've had a great experience doing that. It's been so sweet to see those rooms full of little kiddos again. And I know how much it has been an encouragement to our families to be able to offer that. So we're going to begin to reopen all of the kids' areas on September 13th. So that'll be we'll go all the way to our 5th grade areas on Sunday mornings. And we've got some exciting things planned for the fall. We're going to try our best to give you some really cool midweek content to be able to help minister to your whole family. Like Candy mentioned, we want you to win at home. And we think that's more than just Sunday morning. And we really want to be able here in the near future maybe here in the next few months, to be able to partner together with Pastor Jeff and be able to give you some common things to talk about at home. Well, that's one of the wins that's come out of our family worship, I think. I know for the Peevy family, we've enjoyed being able to talk about Revelation with our kids. And Abe and Eli, they get a lot of what Pastor Jeff is saying, and we've tried our best to target those messages for those audiences. But one thing that we would like to do is bridge that gap between what happens in our worship center and what happens down our kids' hall, so that you as a family can have discussions about that during the week. So going into the new year, into January, February, we're hopefully going to all be learning those things together. We're really excited about that. Our student ministry for our 6th through 12th graders, we have got some really exciting things planned for them too. Again, that are going to be focused on creating opportunities for them to form relationships. And we've got a brand new student leadership team. They are doing an incredible job right now putting together plans for that ministry. But one of the things you're going to see is an opportunity for your 6th through 12th graders to meet in small groups on Sunday morning. A couple of times a month. They're going to have an opportunity to have their own space on Wednesday nights. So we're going to have some really exciting things coming that are going to meet 0 to 12th grade and meet you as parents where you are, to be able to help win at home with your kids. That's more than just Sunday morning. Here at Southside, church is more than just Sunday morning. It's family. And that's family at church, but it's also family throughout the week. So we're excited about those plans.
And I'm excited as well. As a mom, I have a 5th grade child that will be in Brittany's ministry under her influence on Sunday mornings. I have a 10th grader who is in the student ministry, and I have a 21-year-old that's serving on that student leadership team, and they are so excited. Our students have been back a little bit on Wednesday nights and meeting in the middle on Sunday mornings, and they have had such an incredible time, and we've seen them be able to come on Wednesday nights and bring their friends. And so that's one of the reasons why we thought about Wednesday nights, is because they're going to have that opportunity to invite their friends from school to come to Southside. And we've already seen fruit of that.
And it came from them. They're the ones that said, hey, we want to come. We want an opportunity to do that on a Wednesday night. So we're trying to help them do that.
It is. It's so exciting. But my 5th grader, which is, I just have to say, so sweet, because God allowed Abigail, my 10-year-old, and Brittany's Abe, they're the same age, and this year they're in the same grade together, and they love coming to church together too. They love coming to church together with their friends. But my Abigail, my 10-year-old 5th grader, she cannot wait to get back in that classroom down at the block on Sunday mornings and meet with the people that are there, her small group leaders that are pouring into her every week. So we have seasoned volunteers that are going to be there on Sunday mornings for our kids, that are pouring life and time and love and Jesus into them, and they're going to be able to be led by Brittany and her enthusiasm and her passion. And Amy McClure is with us. She is helping lead our nursery and our preschool age with an incredible team of volunteers. And our student ministry, we put together it's like these young adults who are on fire for Jesus, and they just want to serve the Lord with students. And so they have put together, we've just experienced August nights. They've done a tremendous job with that, building some excitement with our students again. So we're looking so forward to being able to put this COVID season behind us and allow these students to gather, these kids together, and build those relationships again. Just as Brittany mentioned, and her heart and her passion and the experience that she's had in life and at Southside, how vital and important relationships are. We believe at Southside that relationships encourage action that lead to life change. And there's no other relationship than your relationship with Jesus Christ that leads to life change. And it is by that relationship with Him that we're able to have friendships and relationships like I get to have with Brittany Peevy, be able to work with her, be on staff with her, and make a kingdom difference through Southside, and that we're able to have a relationship with you. So I just encourage you to come out, come be with us at Southside Church. If you're within the mileage to be able to get here with us, we invite you to come and be a part of our church. 9 and 11 o'clock on Sunday mornings, and the well is coming back. So you'll have to check out our website, southside.online, for the dates that we have coming. Because, ladies, my heart is to minister to you as well. We want to help you win at home, whether that's as a single mom, a married wife and mother, or whether you're just single and out there doing life. We want to come alongside you and build a relationship